You change your name once you get in the game. All right. Facebook got it on lock. They won't let you change nothing. But being real, I just like to say that I'm happy to be here tonight. Everything that I'm doing for my coaching program, just to give y'all some winning strategies. I think all my subscribers are out there right now. Tonight we got the Diddy joint going on. All things that like free Diddy. But if you look at the history of African men on trial or being accused of things in America, you got to get behind it. You just got to get behind it. There's no way that we can't be screaming free Diddy. I mean, it has to be where we're at right now as a country. When you have somebody that is treated unfairly by the judicial system, and it doesn't matter what their ethnic background is, you just don't know what it's like to be incarcerated, locked up, taken from your family, taken from everything that you love and that you do. You don't to be in that situation and wrongfully accused. So it's called stacking, right? Many of you don't know this. So the law can stack charges against you, like throw them against the wall to see what sticks. Okay. And it in and of itself, it's not legal. It's not legal. It shouldn't be the way you do it. So if we can't get them for the major stuff we want to get them for, we're going to go ahead and get him for something petty and just keep him in jail anyway. So stacking crimes and stacking charges is a way to keep people in jail, to take them from their freedom, to just like really, for a guy rich as Diddy, to hurt his pockets, his reputation. Stacking charges is a way to hurt somebody's reputation. It's a way to make them feel a certain kind of way about the situation or whatever. I don't need the light, so we can wait on that. But stacking is definitely something that we definitely shouldn't be doing as a judicial system. So they stacked the charges against P. Diddy, and just to see if something would stick. Now, the crazy part about it is they were hoping they could take this man's life forever. All right. When you hear that sound, write it down. They were hoping that they could put him in prison forever for the rest of his life by stacking charges, character defamation in front of a jury. So you have the dark African face, then you have, you're going to have Europeans on the jury no matter what part of the country you're in for the most part. I don't know if there's ever been an all African person at, dark face jury ever in the history of the country yet. But so you feel like you can slander and smear this man's name and you just stack all these charges on top of each other. I'm stacking this, I'm stacking that. And what it comes down to is a laugher. And so we're laughing now. It's interesting that the cosmos and universe brought everything together, and his verdict came out on the day before we celebrate national independence. Independence of what? For who? Who's independent these days? You owe taxes to the government. None of us independent of taxes, except maybe Donald Trump, even before he became president. You know what I'm saying? So where are we independent from? African people, we're definitely independent of false allegations and charges being stacked against us to see what it's did. I think that it's amazing how people were so quick these days, knowing the history of African men on trial, black dark-faced men on trial. I thought it was amazing how everybody rushed to judgment against P. Diddy. I saw a guy holding a shirt that said, "Freak is not Rico," or something. A freak is not a Rico, or something like that. But it makes the point, doesn't it? It makes the point. So you look at Kobe and Tyson. Kobe Tyson. So both individuals were charged with the same charge. sexual assault against a woman, a young woman at that. And in Tyson's case, it wasn't even a European chick like Kobe, you know, pale as can be. And we know how the European power structure feels about African men with them European girls. But what happened in that situation? Well, one had a reputation or at least a menacing look, and the other didn't. One had been, you know, in trouble with the law, and the other hadn't. So by stacking, you know, these charges, you know, really whatever the case may be, and if you watch the movie yourself, you know, you look at it, and I did, it didn't change my perspective about the case at all. It changed my perspective about how it was covered in the media before the movie came out. Now, at no time is it okay to assault a woman. I'm not, you know, on that bandwagon. We saw P. Diddy rough his lady up in the hallway. We all saw it. So in that sense, you know, what's the crime and punishment for that? So when you hear me say, Taibu Mu'addib say stacking charges, what's the crime and punishment for that? What could he be charged with for dragging the lady in the hall? And how much time would he be facing for that? Anybody know? I'll hold. Put in the comment section. I'll wait. Let me see in the comment section. TikTok, Instagram. Because as far as I'm concerned, you know, for a rich person like that, I'm not saying it's right, but for a rich person like that, we're talking a fine, no jail time at all, arrest possibly, but no jail time at all, a fine. So we went from showing that picture in the hallway to raiding his home and this and this and that and transporting. I saw what it said, transporting what it seemed to be prostitution, all that stuff like that. And I'm thinking to myself, it's really tough. What's going on, cuz? It's really tough when you have a black man on trial, how much you can throw at this African brother, how much you can throw at him, and people look, and it still comes down to seeing a dark face. I mean, we can't get around it. Now, when you play the cultural bias and prejudice card, it's a slippery slope nowadays because we're supposed to be colorblind. So I want to make it clear. I'm not even choosing sides here. I'm not saying the prosecution is wrong for charging them or Diddy's wrong for fighting it. Like, you know, I'm just saying that we have an age-old scenario, except in this instance, it didn't go all the way to prosecution's way, taking a man off the street forever. Now, for those of you who are unfortunate enough, like myself, to have been incarcerated, you already know how serious that situation is. You already know whether they gave you 30 days or 30 years. You already know how serious it is to go in front of a judge in this country with a dark face. But let me ask many of you this question. If that was Justin Timberlake, how would the media have covered it? What would have been the TikToks and the Facebooks and the reels about then? If it was Justin Bieber, right? Pop stars. If it was Garth Brooks, country star, all of a sudden 40 women come out, you know, and say, you know, he did XYZ. You know, how would the media have covered it? How would we have treated the story if it was a European artist very, very successful, you know, European artist. How would we have covered that? How what would we have rushed to judgment? I just, you know, I'm gonna tell you something. In my line of work, what I do, I meet all kinds of people. But I started having a saying, why is it always us? Because I'm always in a position of authority at work. I'm either doing security or, you know, what I do as a sales professional. I'm still the authority at my place of business. I run an online coaching program. You know, I'm the authority that they listen to because they trust me to help them get right. Now, when I say why is it always us, I'm saying like I found that when I have discrepancies or misunderstandings with different cultures, it's like we handle it, we work it out. Sometimes they get out of their body, but you know, I don't have to. And when the business is brought in, it's like, oh, okay, they, you know, they're what it is what it is. But there's is never seems to be an end when it's somebody that looks like me that has a problem with me. Never. So what are you saying, Taibu? I'm saying that I heard unrelated a quarterback that used to play for the Steelers that was, you know, young African man, and he was talking about the head coach of the Steelers, also African man, and he was saying negative things, and I couldn't figure this out. How come we're not shy now, African people, beautiful black people in this country? How come we're not making sure that when it comes to certain situations that we are guarded in the way we treat each other, especially in public? How come it's so easy for us to snap out, flap the handle at each other, but when it's a different culture involved, Arab, Latino, European, how come we hold ourselves in check a lot more? But when it's one of us, we just there's no limit. We can't be stopped, right? We're not coming down. And so I say that in this legal situation because, you know, I don't really expect a person in America with that kind of money and that kind of power to be totally innocent of something. I think that people with money and power that comes with that kind of money, I think that they're all at best committing misdemeanors, if not felonies, on a consistent basis. That's just my view of having money and power in the country. And I haven't made it to that $500 million level yet. I'll let you know when I get there. Okay, I'll let you know when I get there. Law-abiding citizen. You know, Sean Puffy, Sean Diddy, Cone, whatever the case may be. This guy, and I grew up on the artists that he was putting out there. And then you hear how he was doing people and treating people or whatever, like he was the hip hop version of Baby, right? This is what you hear about him. How he got how he treated artists and stuff, and you know, it's tough for me. It's really, really tough for me because like I'm guarded in what I'm going to say about this man. The whole time I'm watching, people are going crazy. Oh, did he this, and that? This. I have to hold off as an influencer. I have to hold off. I have to hold off. And I'm glad that I did. I'm glad that I did because now everybody that looks like me and looks like Diddy, now what do you say now? If you rush to judgment and you was on the bandwagon that he was going down for life and he should rot in jail, rot in hell. I'm just saying, a lot of you out there. but not Taibu Mu'addib, because I'm a winning strategies coach. That's just not a winning strategy. I think in the day and age of connectivity, which is what the internet provides to us, we as African people should come together and circle the wagons around somebody. If we circle wagons around somebody and we found out they wrong, we weren't wrong for a circle wagons around. We just weren't. We're not. Right? We're not wrong for circling the wagons around our own. You look at what happened. I'm in Texas, Arlington, Texas. So you look what happened with that young boy in that stabbing. You look at it and what happened with that stabbing, and you look at how they treated that young man and how we circled the wagons around him. They bond that young man out. And next thing it's like, oh, they bond him out. It was a big deal. He's like, no, but y'all bonded your own out when this happened. Y'all bonded your own out. This is what you would do for your own. So I applaud the people that helped that young man get out. And I applaud the folks that, like me, were guarded about speaking against Diddy in this whole situation, and are just ready to circle the wagons, because we need more of that as a people. We do. We're actually do that. We're actually do the opportunity to embrace people who allegations have come against them, and their whole livelihood, their family, their business, their life on the street is all in jeopardy. We should circle the wagons a lot more. And I'm not saying get behind a monster, get behind a criminal, and all the other things. What I'm saying is, ye who are without sin cast the first stone. P. Diddy didn't kill anybody. He didn't unalive anybody. I guess the word you guys use on TikTok is he didn't. P. Diddy, he didn't. He may have done some things, but I know a young man that was rich, underage drinking and driving, and killed, and unalived people in his vehicle and the vehicle that he crashed into at 17, driving drunk. And the judicial system found loopholes or ways to not charge him, to keep him out of jail. And you have to look it up. But this rich young man was responsible for people losing their life. And I don't think to this day he's really seen the inside of a jail cell. Rich young European boy. And so all this, stuff about P. Diddy being the mastermind behind something, it's just like, it was mind-blowing for me. I'm like, the dude cutting albums, he's doing groups. He had the making of the band. Day 26 was a nice little male group, band. They got some nice songs out, that My Doors Open joint is hot, you gotta listen to it. So I mean, the guy's busy. So I'm like, when does he have time to do all this stuff? Throwing major bashes and parties and all this stuff, and the whole LGBTQ mix in there and what he's doing and stuff like that or whatever. I mean, the crazy part about it is we can't on one hand say we're LGBTQ friendly as a society, but then find out P. Diddy likes to kiss boys and kiss young men and take men shopping. You know what I'm saying? And he wrong for that. I don't know. But celebrating freedom is an important thing. I'm happy for the man because he did something that many African men aren't doing when it comes to the judicial system. He fought. He went to trial. He exercised his rights to a jury trial. I've been there a number of times myself. And I really appreciate and applaud the jury trial. Does jury trials only work for folks with money? No, it works for a lot of people too, but it mostly works for folks with money. But I applaud the jury and all fair and honest juries that listen to the facts. So there was a lot of stuff that played a part in it, but it really feels good to not have to go to work tomorrow because it's Independence Day, and to know that all the memes and reels about Diddy now are going to change unless folks are just going to just hate. But me personally, I'm saying let's celebrate Diddy. Let's celebrate his freedom and our freedom. Let's celebrate, you know, at least the essence of what America is supposed to be about. Let's celebrate at least the essence of, democracy. Let's celebrate that in the Diddy trial situation. No matter how you feel about Diddy or what you're thinking, let's celebrate Diddy exercising his rights and it working out for the best. Now, with respect to the victims in that were involved in the charges, with respect to them, don't get it twisted. He has some atonement to do. I would like to see Diddy, atoning for his behavior that wasn't okay. I'm in that situation myself. When I podcast and when I coach and when I speak, that's my way of healing myself and the community of my past. When I speak out, when I write the books I've written, they're all for positive progress. The coaching books, the social justice, just to wake people up and let them know what's going on so we can fight for a better system. And all that fighting that we did for a better system led to the opportunity for Diddy to get a favorable verdict in this case. Win with Taibu, how do you do that? So he's not going to be the last star or the last wealthy African man to be beset by allegations, false or otherwise. So here's some winning strategies for you paid brothers out there and sisters. If you look like me, if you have, melanin in your skin and you're proud of it, let me give you some winning strategies. Take care of business. Take care of business. I have a good friend in Ohio. He has a bar out there. Shout out to CJ and everybody at B's Corners right now that's watching the program, just checking me out before it gets thick up in there. I know it's going to be crazy. Shout out to Springfield, Ohio, the whole 937. I miss y'all. But my man C said, I keep the main thing the main thing. If you are wealthy and a person of color, just take care of business. I think that's something that Eric Thomas said. He said he didn't have, his schedule wasn't full of productive activity, so he used to get in trouble. I agree. When you start building a good name for yourself and you get a few promotions or your business is kicking off or your podcast is juking, you have more to lose. So I'm me personally, I'm less apt to go cold clean off the deep end on somebody or about something, because at the end of the day, I have things to lose now, things that I've worked for. So I have to find winning strategies to handle the challenges, obstacles that come my way. So take care of business out there. Take care of business. From Aaron Rodgers' comments that he made on a sports show about wanting to have a private life with his new wife, to everybody. Janet Jackson had private marriages. To everybody out there, your public life, my public life is what it is. But I'm just saying, take care of business, and when you're in private, do your thing and just let that be that. But yeah, we thought, P. Diddy had a slave ship in B-more, and he was running the whole. We thought he had a whole Mayflower on his own, right? Taibu Mu'addib right here, man, just celebrating the fact that in this situation, I'm not celebrating that he got off or anything. I'm just celebrating that it feels like America is leaning towards getting it right. People didn't Trump this, Trump. Did I vote Trump? Yes, I voted Trump and lower gas prices. All right. And he got that done. Thank you, Donald Trump. So I can do these things. I can talk about the real things that's happening out there. I think that America for a long time has been a business. Politicians were running it like it was a business. We as African people have been subjugated for years by the business that's called America. All right, let's keep it real. So, you know, to have a president a commander in chief that knows business, I think is pretty fascinating. I want to see how far this thing can go. I love it, you know, and how things are going and the money that's available and all these policies and stuff like that. Hey, roll with it. You know, I mean, I'm just keeping it real. So leadership is important. I provide that through the First Step Coaching Program. Winning strategies is important. Many of you, I've been there. Many of you are struggling right now with something, and you know, like Diddy, you may think that it's hopeless, but you still willing to fight. If you still willing to fight, call the hospitality hotline. You see at Win with Taibu at YouTube is it's 682-514-5955. Get on the hospitality hotline. Text me. Reach out to me if you're struggling with something and you want some winning strategies. I think that Diddy's verdict was a win for all Americans. I believe that Diddy's verdict was a win because we want to see something about our society working. There's so much negativity. There was so much negative stuff around that trial. We want to see America work. All right. Now to the fun stuff. Did he get back to making good music? All right. Get back, come out with a song, come out with a song or something. Get back to making good music. I mean, let's get back to being the remix king of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? You know, let's let him get back to doing what he did best, man. I love being entertained. I know many of you do too. Diddy, when I was young, is super entertainer. Everything that he did was over the top. So, you know, and you know what? I think that the Bible says, you know, God resists the proud but gives grace to the humble. You know, if this situation humbled Diddy and he still has all the power and influence he does in the music world that he's done, you know, maybe somebody's about to catch a blessing. Maybe one of you, no matter where you are, maybe he'll start his own American Idol thing and somebody will catch a blessing. I know I have a little brother that he's a cold rapper. He just has issues and he's fell back away from it. I don't know why he quit it, because he was definitely the next big thing. But still, I mean, Diddy might go ahead and do another making band or, you know, find the next top talent and somebody might catch a blessing because he might now be want to give more, like I said, to atone for some of the mistakes he did make. Clearly, he made some mistakes. I'm not going to hold y'all too much longer. I got on here, you know, about a half an hour ago. I just really want y'all to know that when you come to my podcast, Love, Lies, and everything in between on Sundays, get your tickets on Eventbrite. You'll look for the link. I'll put that link up there. I'm late putting it up because this was a short week for me at work, so I was really banging it out. But I'm gonna get that Eventbrite link up there for you tomorrow. Remember, you get the full platter with that. The first 8-ounce margarita, if it's your first time there, it's on the house. And come have a good time. We're gonna talk relationships. We're not gonna talk Diddy. We ain't gonna talk Diddy. But I do have some podcast topics that were brought to me last week by ladies that came and showed out and showed up and showed out. And we had a good time. So I'm gonna get the Eventbrite link out there for this Sunday from 4 to 8. You don't want to miss it in Arlington. Do the survey. When you see my survey, I want to hear from all of you. Do the survey. Let me know what makes it a live podcast and party for you. Do the survey. Click on the link. Take the, like, I think it's like 7-8 questions. I really want to know how I can make it a better experience for you, bringing in special guests, doing interviews, some live coaching sessions for some of you in the audience that come and show up. I want to make it special for you to come to the live podcast and party. Shout out to Carpe Diem over down in Dallas. Shout out to Carpe Diem. They're bringing Taibu Mu'addib, love and lies, everything in between to the downtown Dallas scene. And it is what it is. It is what it is. My birthday's coming up. I'm heading toward the big 5-0. I'm excited about it. I thank God for 50 healthy years for the most part. I just feel really, really blessed to be here, able to, like I said, give back to the community. When you overcome today's obstacles, tomorrow always feels like paradise. That's you heard it here first from Taibu Mu'addib right here. Get in touch with me, 682-514-5955 for free tips, coaching advice, or to join my first step coaching program, which is featuring as a signature staple, the total body blueprint. Lose 40 pounds in 12 weeks or less, or your money back. Taibu Mu'addib right here. I appreciate all y'all for joining me. That is the show. And now you know.